We have some stunning new numbers to share with you of new unemployment claims just made in the past week, Saagar.
Yeah, that's right. So the unemployment claims just broke from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. 3.3 million unemployment claims just in the last week. Let's throw up that chart here that was tweeted by Joe Weisenthal over at Bloomberg TV. You can actually see, Krystal, that it is so unprecedented that it is orders of magnitude larger than the Great Recession. So the Great Recession on that chart, and then some of the shocks of the system,
barely even see it in comparison,
can barely be seen on the chart in relation to where we are right now. Completely unprecedented territory. And now, look at, what are we talking about? Look at that Senate bill. Put it right up against that chart. Does that Senate bill, $1,200 payment, does that track with that number right there? 3.3 million people out of work in a single week. By the way, that's undercounting it because it's only going to go up as non-essential business closures in California, New York, D.C., all across the country are spinning. We are talking about a horrific economic crisis. And here's the worst part. It's not that much we can do about it. We can't just let people go back to work. It's a public health crisis.
People aren't going to just go back to work anyway while this is still raging.
People can't go out back into the economy. They cannot go out and participate in economic life until we get the virus under control. It is a horrific situation, and that's where we are right now. Honestly, this is a heartbreaking number because 3.3 million out of work in a single week. What is that? That's almost 1% of the entire country.
And you know what that heartbreak looks like. We're seeing those stories that we're hearing from so many people who are in that boat. One of the millions who are facing incredibly hard decisions this week, uncertain future. And meanwhile, all that the Senate and the House can get themselves together to do is a measly $1,200 one-time payment that you're not going to see for weeks, if not months, as we've been covering. If you don't have direct deposit on file with the IRS, which is going to be disproportionately the working poor and lower income people, then you're not going to see even that piddling, inadequate, pathetic benefit measured up against the $4 trillion that big businesses get. You're not going to see that for 4 months.
And then the other thing is the $350 billion to small businesses. I'm already seeing that there's going to be administrative hurdles. People legal, you have to apply. It takes time. You have to get your check. Look, it's a bridge loan. But the bridge loan is not fast enough for the small businesses that need this money now to keep people on their payroll.
Right.
And guess what? Same thing on unemployment. I was looking at the Denver unemployment website yesterday. They have it tiered to, like, if your last name begins with this, you can file for unemployment in this time period. And if your it's like the websites for unemployment are crashing, and they're only going to go up. The states, each individual state is now responsible for administering unemployment at levels that surpass the Great Depression in 1933. This is quadruple, according to what I'm seeing here, what was the worst week for the economy in 1980. So there you go. It's so many orders of magnitude larger than anything that we've ever seen before. This is the first time where it really hits home. You knew it was coming, but this is when you see it and you're like, oh my God.
Yeah, and when you hear those estimates that unemployment could be as high as 30% from the president of the St. Louis Fed, this is that path. And here's what I want people to really take in. Yes, to get the coronavirus under control, there was going to be inevitable economic pain. No doubt about it. And there were going to be jobs lost. That's something we're seeing around the world. But the level of pain and bureaucracy and hurdles and the pathetically small and inadequate nature of the response, uniquely American.
Yeah, bureaucracy.
Uniquely American. What did other countries do? Rather than going through all this, you have to apply if you're a small business, and if you keep it for payroll, you can have loan forgiveness on the other side. No, they just came out. We will pay 70, 80, 90% of your payroll, depending on the country, so that people could be more likely to stay in their jobs, so that when we do defeat this virus, which will happen, although it is taking much longer than any of us would want, when that happens, people can go back to work, and they're still attached to their jobs, and they still get, if they have employer-provided health insurance, they still get that. And let's not forget that, too. These millions of people, Some of them had health insurance through their employers.
Exactly.
In the middle of a pandemic.
Which lapses at the end of a month.
In the middle of a pandemic, they're losing their health insurance, and nobody in Washington has done one thing about that. Coronavirus treatment isn't even covered in this bill that they passed.
Yeah.
So yeah, when you see those numbers and you put them up against the inadequate, small ball, corporate-friendly response of this Senate, it's unbelievable.
It truly is unbelievable. And like, I mean, we knew it was going to be bad, but this is just some of the worst numbers that we'll see. And I fear it's only just begun, that the cascading effects on the U.S. economy are only going to continue. 3.3 million people for unemployment, that's only going to go up. The amount of money that we've passed is just not enough. Senate's going on vacation for 3.5 weeks. Do you know what these numbers are going to look like 3.5 weeks from now? I mean,
it's outrageous. It's actually a complete abdication of duty for them to leave this town when you have this many Americans who are going to be struggling, who are going to need so much more than anything that they've offered them so far. We're going to keep pushing. That's all I can tell you. We're going to keep highlighting our stories. We're going to keep telling, trying to educate people in this town about the reality that you all are living through right now. But it couldn't be more heart-wrenching to see.
It couldn't be to see 3.3 million people out of work in a single week, and it's only going to continue to go up. I mean, this is going to be a reckoning. We can tell you that.
Absolutely.
All right.
Well, more rising for you after this.